Have you ever invested time and energy into a romance option, gifting them their favorite item and taking on their loyalty mission, only to realize you've made a huge mistake? In today's video, we're going to talk about 5 RPG romance options who are truly regrettable. But before we get into it, I want to be clear. Regrettable doesn't always mean bad. Yes, sometimes you'll regret a romance because it's shallow or incomplete, but sometimes you'll regret it because it's complex and written in a way that absolutely breaks your heart. We've got a mix of both today. Let's get into it. We're starting off with River Ward from Cyberpunk 2077. And I'll be honest, this romance isn't regrettable because it's super dramatic or heartbreaking, it's just really shallow. River is presented as an earnest and caring guy. You do his loyalty quest, you show up for him when he calls, all the while waiting for him to show some actual depth and complexity. It doesn't happen. What you see is what you get with River. And unfortunately, what you see is a very surface level character who never grows beyond that, even after you've committed to his entire romance. He's not terrible, but in a game where you've got romance options like Pan Am and Judy who set the bar very high, not terrible feels pretty disappointing. When you finish his romance arc, you won't feel heartbroken, but you'll probably feel like you've wasted some of your time. The next entry on our list, Lucanis from Dragon Age the Veilguard, unfortunately takes River's style of disappointment to the next level. Because unlike River, Lucanis appeared to be much more than he really was. Lucanis is an assassin, he's a bit mysterious, he's maybe a little dangerous. He's the kind of character who is begging to be complex. And that's the problem, because the game gives you the impression that Lucanis is deep and layered without ever actually building on it. The more time you invest in getting to know him, the more it feels like maybe there's not much else below the surface. You keep digging and coming up empty. The lore is there, the intrigue is there, but there's no actual person behind all of that exterior. Where River is a letdown, Lucanis is genuinely frustrating. You can see exactly who he could have been, and that's compelling, but the lack of execution contrasted with the potential makes it all kind of a miserable experience. And while we're on the topic of wasted potential, we've got to talk about Cora Harper from Mass Effect Andromeda. Cora is experienced, capable, and complex from the start. She's the person who should have been the Pathfinder, and you know it. She knows it. Literally everyone knows it. The tension of that decision, it's a major part of the foundation of your relationship with her, and a romance that grows out of that kind of conflict could have been really mature and nuanced, something that we don't see a lot of in video game romances. Instead, the conflict simply dissolves. Everything is cleared up and forgiven after one conversation. This should have been a slow to build connection, and instead, it's shockingly uncomplicated. Wasted potential. The worst part is that the shape of this romance was there. It was so close we could almost taste the complexity and the tension, and then it just never came together. I want my time back. Alright, we're gonna move past talking about disappointing or wasted potential in regrettable romance options, and now it's time to talk about straight up red flags. Anders from Dragon Age 2. He's passionate, brooding, and seemingly a bit misunderstood in a way that no doubt catches some players' attention. But that's a trap, because what Anders never makes clear to you, at least not until it's too late, is that his passion is all-consuming. It leads to manipulation and dishonesty. Anders has a way of making it feel like disagreeing with him means you don't understand him or simply don't care for him. And everything he does is framed around being for the greater good, making you the bad guy to stand against him. By the time late game hits and you see the full picture of what he's capable of, you'll already be in too deep. We've all experienced that sinking feeling of, how did I not see this coming? Well, that's Anders' relationship. And that's not even talking about the way that this entire romance was handled in Inquisition. That is a whole other layer of frustration for fans. You invest this time in this romance, making it uniquely yours, and then it's like totally not acknowledged. What are we even making these decisions for if they don't continue to come up and affect the world and the games? And then there's Solas from Dragon Age Inquisition. Up front, you need to understand, Solas is not just a heartbreaking or controversial romance option. He's a romance that can change the way you experience the game, making things extremely personal. From the beginning, Solas is really fascinating. He's thoughtful, incredibly smart, philosophical in the way that he approaches things. He's the kind of character who can be just as reassuring as he can be condescending. And if you choose to pursue him romantically, he opens up in ways that feel really unique for games. He's actually quite guarded and careful. And then shit completely flips. Not like some kind of over-the-top breakup or a dramatic death. This twist unravels your entire understanding of the relationship. Any moment of connection is set in a whole new light, because Solas's reveal shows that all along he's known a huge truth that he hid from you, and that makes everything so much more painful and complicated. Can he love you and do what he's done? It's some existential shit, not the kind of questions we find ourselves asking often about a romance in a video game. It's the kind of moment you sit back and just question everything. Would you still have done the romance if you'd known where it was going to go? It's messy, and honestly, all of those complicated feelings make it unforgettable. Regrettable? Possibly, but definitely unforgettable. Which of these romance options do you regret the most? Maybe your heart is slightly broken from one of these romances, or maybe you feel like I completely missed one that's even worse. Please let me know in the comments. If you like more content like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.